good morning, baby.
Good morning.
Oh, how are you feeling this morning, my love?
I feel wonderful. Oh, I love lying like this in your arms. It makes me feel so comfortable and warm and loving.
I love being with you, too. Did you do what I asked you to do the other day?
What?
You know what? Make an appointment with the doctor.
Yeah, I called him.
And?
And I have an appointment.
Well, good. For when?
Next week.
For next week?
Look,
Cecile,
it was the first appointment that he could give me. He was all booked up for this week. Look, I feel fine now. What I had, it mustn't have been serious at all.
I don't care. I still want you to see him.
I'm going to next week.
Good. When's your appointment?
I don't know the exact day. I don't remember. You want me to get my book and look it up for you and you'll believe me?
No, relax. I believe you, okay?
Well, then why are you asking me so many questions?
Darling, it's important that you see the doctor so that we can make sure that you're all right. Do you understand?
Honey, I'm going to. I'm going to. Don't worry.
Oh.
What?
Oh, what time is it?
Why?
Oh, I've got to get up.
Why do you have to get up so early?
Oh, I have to stop by the apartment on my way to work, or Joey's going to think I moved out of there for good.
Oh, well, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea, you know?
That would be a very bad idea.
You don't want to be with me?
Of course I want to be with you, sweetheart, but not here.
You're here now.
That's only because we can't be at my place together. And you know how uncomfortable I feel here. I mean, Cecile, this is where you and Jamie used to live together. I just don't feel right about it.
I know. I understand, baby. You don't have to get up so early. Come on. You can talk to Joey later and tell him that you haven't moved out.
Well, I have to go by there and pick up something anyway.
What?
Mac's memoirs. I left them over there. I want to return them to Mac along with that copy of the chapter about my mother that I found over here.
Good morning, Edward.
Good morning. Would you like some breakfast?
Oh, I've eaten. Thank you, but I'd love a cup of coffee. So, how did your meeting go with Miss Davis?
Oh, well enough.
I assume you told her everything.
Well, I didn't hide anything, if that's what you mean. Why should I?
Do you think that was wise?
I don't know. And I don't care. I don't want to involve myself in any more deception. I've lived a lie so long, I've become a lie.
Being a little hard on yourself, aren't you?
Oh, am I?
Well, after all, you had no way of knowing how they'd react after finding that you were alive after 10 years. You had every reason to stay away.
As I do now.
Well, you know how I feel about your coming here.
Yes, I do.
Still, now that you're here and now that you've spoken to Rachel Davis, I assume your plans will accelerate a little more rapidly?
Oh, yes.
So, what's the next step?
Please find out where Alice will be all day.
You're going to see her today?
Yes. I think it's about time. Actually, it's something that's long overdue.
I don't suppose you took a phone call from me last night, did you?
No. Oh, wait a minute. As a matter of fact, I did. Rachel called right after you left.
What'd she say?
You know, I thought it was kind of strange. She said she wasn't going to be able to meet you.
Well, that explains why she didn't show up at Auberge.
Wait a minute. You were actually going to have dinner with Rachel Davis?
Yes. She called the other day and said she absolutely had to see me.
Well, what about?
I don't know. She said it was very important.
another world.
You're going to give Mac that chapter?
Yeah, sure, it belongs to him.
Wait,
And
Sandy.
it proves that Jamie wasn't lying.
I don't think you should.
Well, why not, darling?
Because it might upset Mac.
No, I don't think it will.
Sandy, he could think that Jamie made the copy himself. I mean, he could get mad at him all over again. Look, he was really angry at him the first time he found out. See, I don't think you should give it to him.
No, I think you're wrong, Cecile. I think it's important for Mac to know that that copy exists. Oh, by the way, was there any mail for me here yesterday?
Here?
Yeah. Do you remember I told you about those photos that were stolen from Jamie's place?
The ones you took at the warehouse.
Yeah, right. Well, Jamie called and told me that he'd found one of the copies. They'd missed one when they were ripping off his place. And he was supposed to bring it to me at the Ledger office, only I never got it.
And you think he mailed it here?
Well, it wasn't at the Ledger office, and it wasn't at Joey's apartment, so I just thought maybe he mailed it to me
Well,
here. Right?
I mean, it hasn't come yet. What does it look like? What does it say on it?
No, Jamie didn't say.
What are you going to do with it when you get it?
I don't know. I guess Jamie and I will get together and take a long look at it. Try and find out exactly what we've got.
You and Jamie? Then, you're not fighting anymore, huh?
Well, we're not exactly warm and fast friends again. But we sort of got an armed truce. Anyway, it's a start.
Well, you know, if it's really that important, Rachel will call you back, won't she?
Yeah, I suppose so. She made it sound so urgent.
Hey, look, Mom, why don't you relax? It's your day off. Forget about it.
I'm going to try. As a matter of fact, I have something very special planned for today.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Well, Mac has told me that he will take me any place in the world for our honeymoon.
Really?
Really?
Any place?
Yes. And he wants me to decide where.
Oh, my gosh. Well, there are so many places you could go. I mean, you could go to Paris. You could go to Rome. And, Mom, Switzerland. Oh, it's the perfect time of year, too. How are you ever going to decide?
I don't know. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter where we go, as long as I'm with Mac.
I guess, yeah. What are you smiling about, huh?
Well, it's such a beautiful day. I just thought of the perfect place I can go to do my thinking.
Where's that?
The lake.
The lake. You're going to freeze.
No, I don't mind a little cold weather. Actually, it'll help me think. There's one particular spot that's very special to me.
You've never told me about it.
Oh, well, I guess that's just because I never thought about it before, and it's been so long since I've been there.
Yeah, why so long?
Stephen and I used to go there when we wanted to be alone. And sometimes I used to go there by myself just to think things through.
Then I think you should go.
I think I will.
Oh, I'll get it. Hello? Yes, she is. Who's calling, please? Oh, hi, hold on. It's Mac for you. There you go.
Hello, Matt.
Good morning, darling. How are you?
Oh, very well at the moment, thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. Say, I wonder how you'd feel about a quiet, romantic dinner just for the two of us tonight. What do you think?
Sounds wonderful.
I must admit I'm pleased with the idea myself.
You know something, Matt?
What?
You make me feel so special.
You are special.
I love you.
I love you. See you tonight, then?
Tonight.
I'll have Brooks pick you up around 7.
Good. I'll be ready. Grab one of these bags.
Oh, which one?
The one on the left.
Okay, here.
No, the other left.
Oh, the other left.
I was so afraid it was going to drop it. It's got eggs in it.
Rhonda, what is all this about?
Well, Clarice and Larry are coming back tonight, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that's what the postcard said.
Well, I just thought it'd be nice, stock the refrigerator and put out some fresh flowers so it'd be real nice when they got here.
You are incredible.
You really think so? Hope it's a compliment.
Yes, it's a compliment.
Well, I just wanted to make sure because, sometimes incredible isn't such a good thing. Like, sometimes it can mean something freaky or something.
No, it was meant as a compliment, so don't analyze it to death. What I meant was just always thinking about everybody else.
Well, yeah. I guess I do think about other people a lot. But there's one person in particular I think about all the time.
Who?
You. Who did you think I meant?
Sometimes with you, it's hard to tell what you're thinking.
I don't know why you say that. My brother Ed says he knows what I'm thinking all the time, like he can read me like a book.
Well, maybe that's because he's lived with you.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
There been any more calls from that creep?
Nope, not a one.
Then you think maybe it's going to be all over for Clarice?
Kind of looks that way, huh?
Gosh, that would be the best homecoming gift she could get, wouldn't it, if those calls really stopped?
Yep, that's for sure.
Come on. Help me put that stuff away, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Nope.
Milk? Okay.
Louise, Mr. Corey wanted to know if you got everything you need for this evening.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'll tell him.
Leonard,
Yes, what?
what are we going to do?
What about?
Mrs. Frame,
Well, what about her?
haven't you noticed she seems to be just taking over?
I think that's what Mr. Corey has in mind.
She's even trying to get me involved in this irresponsible plan of hers to redecorate this beautiful house.
Irresponsible?
The way she treats Amanda.
Treats a man... What are you talking about?
She's trying to take Mrs. Corey's place as Amanda's mother.
I think there's something we've got to face up to.
What?
We both love Mrs. Corey. And it would be grand if she were coming back to this house, but she isn't.
What has happened between Mr. and Mrs. Corey should never have been allowed to happen.
But it has happened, and we have to accept it. And we also have to accept that Mr. Corey's going to marry Mrs. Frame. And she's going to be the new mistress of this house, so we better make the best of it. Not only for Mr. Corey's sake, but also for Amanda's. She mustn't ever sense any reluctance on our part towards Mrs. Frame. It'll be the worst thing that could happen.
I suppose you're right.
Of course I am. I knew you'd be sensible, love.
But Alice Frame will never be Mrs. Corey. Never.
Where will Ellis be today?
I have Denver working on it. He should be in shortly.
Tell him to get a move on it.
Edward, you've waited so long. Surely you can bear another hour or two.
I don't know. Now that I know that I'm actually going to see her. Maybe even be able to touch her. I don't know how much longer I can wait.
Oh, hello, Sandy.
You're getting to be a hard man to track down, Mac.
Well, that's because I'm working more at home now.
Well, that's what they told me at the complex.
Something special you want to see me about?
Well, sir, I wanted to return your memoirs to you. Sorry it took me so long to get them back to you.
No need to rush it back to me. Did you get a chance to read all through it?
Yes, sir, I did. And I think they helped me to understand a lot of things, especially about you. After I read them, I knew that I'd made the right decision in coming to Bay City to meet you and to get to know you.
Thank you, Sandy. You don't know how pleased it makes me to hear you say that.
And that chapter about my mother. Mac, that helped me to understand a lot of things, too.
She was a wonderful woman.
Yes, sir, she was. Well, I've always known that, but I wish so much now that she hadn't run away from me. I still don't understand why she did. Her life would have been so different if she hadn't. Would have been so much easier on her if she'd married you, I think.
Yes, well, I'm sure she felt she was doing the right thing at that time. What matters now is that I know you're my son and that you're here with me.
Yes, sir, that's what matters to me, too. Speaking of that chapter about my mother, I have something I think you ought to see.
What's that?
This, Mac.
This is a copy of that chapter.
Yes, sir, it is.
Where'd you find it?
It was in the penthouse. It was in the stuff that Jamie had left behind.
Then Jamie was right about there being a copy.
Yes, Mac, I guess he was.
Does he know that you found this?
No, sir, he doesn't. I haven't spoken to him all week. As a matter of fact, Mac, I don't even know where the guy is.
Well, I think I can explain that.
You can?
Well, yes, I was trying to reach him myself. I learned that he was sent out of town with a crew from Black Hawk to one of their projects.
Oh, well, that explains why I haven't received that photograph.
Photograph?
Yes, sir. Do you remember I told you I'd taken some pictures of the dockside?
Yes, but you told me they were stolen.
That's right. Now, Jamie called me the other day and told me that he'd found one that they'd missed. It had gotten mixed up in his room or something. Anyway, he was supposed to give it to me. I haven't heard from him since.
You know, I hope that what this implies to me is true.
What's that, Mac?
You two are working together on this?
Well, I don't know if it's exactly that way, Mac. I sort of dragged Jamie into this one, you know.
Have you patched up your differences to any extent?
Patched up? Well, Mac, I don't know if we'll be able... I think that if we at least get a chance to talk, that we can get back to where we were. At least, I hope so.
I hope so, too, Sandy.
Would you like mayonnaise or mustard?
Both. That is the biggest sandwich I have ever seen.
Well, I wasn't sure if you like liverwurst or salami or bologna or cheese, so I put everything on it.
You sure did. I hope you're not in a hurry for me to eat this.
Why, don't you like it?
No, it's not that. It's just that there is so much. You don't have anything planned for the next hour or so, do you?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean like jogging or bicycle riding or doing push-ups. You don't, do you?
No, I didn't plan anything, but if you want to do something, we could.
No, that's okay. I mean, I like it. It's gonna take me a while to eat that.
Oh! Well, do you want some milk or coffee or anything?
No.
So you just sit there and eat it. And I'll check around and see if this place is all right for Larry and Clarice.
Rhonda, that can wait. Why don't you come over here? There's something I think we should talk about.
Jerry, you're not going to tell me you don't want to see him anymore, are you? Because I really couldn't stand that.
No, it's not that, Rhonda.
Oh, well, good. What do you want to talk about?
Rhonda, I like you very much.
Just like?
Okay, love. But I don't want there to be this friction between your family and you because of us.
They'll get over it.
But if you keep sneaking around, it's going to take a longer time. So I've been thinking.
Yeah?
I want to meet your family tonight. I want to talk to them.
Oh, I don't know, Jerry. I don't think that's such a good idea.
I think we have to do it. Look, I'm sure that we can convince them that we'll be all right. What do you think?
Well, guess we could give it a try.
By the time we get finished with them, they are going to think that we are the best thing going, right?
Yeah. Right.
What do you mean you can't find her?
She's not at work. I called the hospital. She got the day off.
Have you tried her house?
Yes, nobody home.
What about Corey's place?
Well, I thought it would be inappropriate to call there.
Forget appropriate. Denver, I don't care how you do it. I want you to do it fast. Find Alice Frame. And when you found her, you tell me right away. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful day, isn't it, son?
Yes. Yes, it is, Brooks. Rather chilly, but still too beautiful to stay inside.
Louise asked me to tell you that dinner will be at 8.
Fine.
What time would you like me to pick up Mrs. Frame in the car? Sir?
What? Oh, I beg your pardon, Brooks.
When would you like me to pick up Mrs. Frame?
Sorry. Had something on my mind. Mrs. Frame is expecting you around 7, I think.
Very good, sir. Is there something wrong, sir?
Just something I can't get out of my mind.
Is it something you would care to discuss, sir?
I'd like to ask you a question.
Of course, sir.
Have you ever sensed that you were doing something wrong, while at the same time all the information you had told you were doing right?
Sir?
Well, have you ever believed one thing in your heart, but your head was forcing you to believe something else?
I believe that's rather an apt description of falling in love.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
I assume you're not talking about love.
No, I was talking about something that happened between Jamie and me.
Jamie, sir?
Yes, I did something some time ago which I thought was the right thing to do, and now I've come to realize I should have followed my gut reaction.
Well, what about her?
Well, I practically accused Jamie of lying to me when he told me that he had read a copy of Chapter 7 of my memoirs. Not that I didn't want him to read my memoirs, it's just that I didn't think a copy existed. Now I've just learned that a copy of Chapter 7 does indeed exist.
Well, that's an understandable mistake if you weren't aware of the copy.
Yes. I suppose you're right, but still what bothers me most was I had no absolute proof that Jamie was lying, and yet I didn't follow my instinct. See, I thought he was trying to cover the fact that he had opened my private safe, taken out my original manuscript, read it without my permission. So, this caused another misunderstanding between Jamie and me, another falling out. But now, I'm beginning to think that all this has something to do with his leaving his wife, leaving Corey Publishing, even with the split up of his friendship with Sandy.
Aren't you allowing one incident to assume drastic proportions? I'm sure there are other extenuating circumstances which made Jamie behave the way he did.
Yes. Perhaps you're right. I still can't help thinking there is some connection. Besides, there's another thing.
Well, what's that, sir?
Well, now that I know a copy of Chapter 7 exists, there are serious questions.
Yes, sir?
Which are unanswered. Well, for example, who did open my safe, take out the manuscript, have a copy made of that chapter? When? For what purpose?
Sandy, why didn't you tell me about the picture?
Well, Philip, I was waiting until I got it from Jamie. He was supposed to give it to me last week. I only now found out he's been out of town.
Yes, I found that out myself yesterday. It seems just a little too convenient to me, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, first Jamie has the pictures, and then he makes arrangements with you. And then suddenly, mysterious. Huh? He sent out on some work crew to someplace unknown.
To tell you the truth, Philip, nothing about Black Hawk surprises me anymore. What does surprise me is that I haven't got that picture. I mean, if Jamie couldn't deliver it to me himself, I'm sure he would have sent it to me, mailed it, something.
Maybe he didn't have the opportunity.
You think they might have found out he had the photograph?
It's possible.
Then they might have sent him out of town on purpose.
That's also possible. I don't know, Sandy. It could all be a coincidence.
Yeah, not very likely.
No, it's not very likely. But I'll tell you one thing for certain. I want to know more about this Black Hawk project. I mean, every time I turn around, they're into something else. Like yesterday, for instance.
Why? What happened yesterday?
I was at a meeting in Mac's office about the Drug Rehabilitation Center. And there's the head of administration, Dr. Berger. He says that he got a letter from the Black Hawk Project saying that they will underwrite half of the construction of the clinic. Half the construction. And to prove it, they put a check in the envelope to back it up.
Just find Alice Frame, he says. I don't care how you do it, Denver, but find her, and fast. Oh, sure, no problem, sir. Hey, she's not at home, she's not at work, no problem at all.
Where are you, Alice Frame?
Sally Frame.
Hello, Sally.
Denny?
Yeah, it's me. How you doing?
Well, fine. Oh, look, I want to thank you again for dinner the other night.
Don't mention it. It's my
Pleasure. I enjoy your company.
Oh, well, thank you. I enjoy your company, too. Is there something I can do for you, or is this a social call?
Well, actually, there is something.
Yeah, I thought so. What is it?
Do you know where your mother is?
My mother.
Yes.
I had a few questions I still wanted to ask her about the drug rehab clinic for my company.
Uh-huh, I see. Well, look, if you need to know anything right away, I would suggest you ask someone else.
Oh, why is that?
Well, my mother went up to the lake today to have something. She had some thinking to do, I guess.
Lake? What lake is that?
Lake Marie?
Oh, well, hey, it's not important. It can wait. And I'll be talking to you again soon, okay?
Yeah, you do that, okay?
Right, bye. Nice job, Denver. Nice job.
They sent a check for half?
I saw it myself.
It's a lot of money, Philip. Okay, so what do you figure their angle is? What are they up to?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that one out ever since I first heard about them.
And you haven't been able to come up with anything?
Right. I'll tell you something, Sandy. This Black Hawk project is an enigma to me. It's like one giant jigsaw puzzle with a million little pieces. And there's just a few of those pieces that are missing. But I'll tell you something. We come up with that one little piece and everything is going to fall into place.
Okay. All right, so what have we got on Black Hawk?
So far?
Yeah.
Start at the beginning. What's the first thing they do when they come into town? They buy the building that Rachel Corey lives in, right?
Right.
Rachel Davis now. Then they buy the dock site that Mac Corey owns and Jamie ran. And then they offer the use of their plane to you and Jamie when you're almost blown away in that kidnapping thing up at the cabin.
Yeah, that's right. Now, that was done through Denny Hobson's office, right?
Yes, and I got no further information from him.
Okay. So then what?
Then what? Okay. Jamie leaves Corey. And who's he hired by? The Black Hawk project. Then you get the pictures of the dock site, and you and Jamie develop them. And then they're stolen from Jamie's room, which, of course, nobody knows about. But then he comes up with the one picture they didn't get. And he lets you know about it. Mm-hmm. Then what happens? Poof, he's gone. And we never hear about the picture.
You know, you're right, Philip. This is like a jigsaw puzzle.
And let's not forget about the photos that were stolen from Mitch Blake's studio. Yeah. And then Black Hawk Project also has the warehouse and the dock site heavily guarded. And then to top it all, they're building a heliport on top of their building.
And everything leads to a dead end.
Right. This is no answers.
And you want answers. Okay, Philip, so, what do you want me to do?
Okay, let's take the first piece, this contribution to the drug rehab center. Mm-hmm. Okay? I want you to do some work on that. I want you to find out about it. Come up with anything you can.
That's kind of vague, Philip.
I never said it was going to be easy, did I?
Hi, Cecile.
Hi, Sally.
Can I come in?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. You know, I tried looking for you over at the complex, but Aunt Liz said that you weren't feeling well.
That's right.
Yeah, well, are you feeling better now?
A little better.
Good, good. Look, you're not still mad at me for the other night, are you?
Sally. I'm not mad at you. I was just upset about the whole thing.
I know, and I am so sorry about telling Jamie that you might be pregnant.
I know you are. But it's not as if we can go untell him now, right? Besides, there's no need to make such a fuss.
Well, it's not making a fuss. I mean, you told me yourself you didn't know who the father was, and I just...
Wait a minute, Sally. You must have misunderstood me. I didn't say anything like that.
Yes, you did.
No, I said that some other people may have doubts. Other people may have doubts, but I'm positive that the baby's Sandy's. It's just that I must have become pregnant right after Jamie left me. And then Look, I don't want to go into all the details, okay?
Oh, sure. I didn't mean to upset you, and I'm sorry I misunderstood.
It's just that I don't want Jamie to start putting ideas into Sandy's head.
You know, I don't understand what the problem is if you know the father is Sandy.
The problem is that anything could happen. I mean, what if this baby were born prematurely? I mean, Jamie would be right in there claiming that it was his. No way. I want Sandy to be at peace. I want him to enjoy being a father.
Have you told him yet?
No, but I will.
Oh, Cecile, you've got to tell him. I mean, how long can you keep this thing a secret? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're right. And I appreciate your concern and your involvement.
You know, the least I can do for you is go to Jamie and explain that I misunderstood. It might help.
Sally, the best thing for you to do is just drop the whole thing. Look, Sally, it's just that I don't want to be upset anymore, and I don't want Jamie and Sandy to fight again.
Okay, if that's what you want.
And it's not as if there were real, honest doubts here about this thing. I mean, there aren't, are there?
No. You know, frankly, Cecile, I'm glad you can stop worrying. You know, you shouldn't upset yourself. You've got a baby to think about now.
You're right, Sally. I do.
You found her?
Yes, sir.
Where is she?
She's at some lake just north of town for the day, Lake Marie. It's about an hour and a half drive from here. But
what?
I couldn't find out exactly where at the lake she was.
Lake Marie, you said?
Yes. I could try to find out where she is.
No, that won't be necessary. I know where she is.
Oh. Will there be anything else then, Mr. Black?
I'll have Quinn see if the car's ready.
Oh, I believe she's already done that, sir.
Denver, why don't you take the rest of the day off? I'm not going to be needing anything more this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You remember those pictures that were stolen from Jamie's place?
The ones you took at the warehouse?
Right. Well, Jamie found one they missed. Called several days ago about it, said he'd drop it by the ledger, but he never did.
And you think that he's mailed it to you here?
Well, it hasn't come to the ledger or Joey's apartment, so I thought maybe he mailed it here.
Well, it hasn't come yet. Do you know what it says or what's on it?
No, Jamie didn't say anything about it.
Well, what are you going to do with it when you get it?
I don't know. I guess Jamie and I'll have to get together and take a long look at it, see exactly what we've got.
Not if I can help it.
Yeah?
Oh, Ed, hi.
Rhonda's not here.
She's not here, but we'd planned for me to meet your family tonight.
Yeah, I know. The family's already met.
I don't understand.
Look, Grove, Rhonda came home and told us you wanted to meet the family. Talk about you and her.
That's right, I do.
Well, I don't think that's such a hot idea.
You don't?
No.
Why?
Me and the family think that, well, Rhonda's too young to get involved with anyone right now, especially a hot dog cop.
I'd like to talk to Rhonda.
I already told you she ain't here.
Where is she?
She went to stay with her aunt in Duluth.
Duluth? When's she coming back?
Sometime, we don't know yet.
You don't know yet? I hope you know what you're doing, Ed. It's just possible that you could break her heart.
It's better we break her heart than you. Look, Grove, it's nothing against you personally. It's just that we felt it was for her own good.
Oh, yeah, sure. But maybe you should have let Rhonda decide that for herself.
can almost hold it too.
What?
The air. You can almost wrap it around you. It's so soft.
That's pure poetry.
It makes me feel so
Happy?
very happy.
We were always happy here when we could get away from Bay City, away from the problem. I wanted a place beautiful and permanent. A place to come to be alone with you.
Stephen Frame, I do believe you're a romantic after all, are you?
Did you ever doubt it?
I did, at times.
I'm sorry I hurt you. I don't want to ever again.
It doesn't matter now. I can survive the hurts. It's just the separations that destroy me.
Let's don't even talk about that now. This is a whole new beginning for us. Like the house. I want to make you happy. I want to give you everything.
Sylvie, I already have everything. All I really want is your love. And I have that now, don't I?
You always have. And you always will.
This red rose is my passion for you. And this white rose, that's my love for you. Will you be my wife?
Want me to be your wife?
I think that's what I said. You need some more time?
Oh, no, it's not that. I just don't know what to say.
Try yes.
The other day, when you proposed to me, you did a very beautiful thing. You gave me a single white rose, saying that it symbolized your love for me. I, too, want to give you a white rose as a symbol of my love for you.
Louise, you planned everything just beautifully, as usual.
Thank you, Mr. Corey.
It's a very special dinner tonight. Although we've been having a lot of those lately, haven't we?
Well, it's always pleasant to have a reason for a special occasion.
Yes. And tonight, Mrs. Frame and I are going to plan where we're going on our honeymoon.
How nice.
Ah, Brooks.
I thought you would enjoy a fire, sir.
It's a wonderful idea. Alice will love it. I'm so glad she can get here before Amanda has to go to bed. You know, I think I must be about the happiest and luckiest man alive. I know I've said this to you before, but I'm just so glad to have both of you here in the house again. You're not just my trusted employees. You're my very good friends. And I have my daughter. Soon I'll have the woman I adore here with me. Just don't think anyone could ask for anything more.
Alice.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Another World.
It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small, small world.
Oh, come on, honey. I feel so great. We had such a good time. Pal Wood, did you have a good time at Disney World?
Right.
Right.
Honey, you got your keys?
Oh.
Yeah,
I got it.
Okay, wait. Here, I'll get mine.
You know, I think that vacation did us some good.
Yeah. I mean, being away with just the three of us made me realize I don't have anything to worry about. Except maybe finding these keys.
Are you sure about that?
I got them. Yeah. I mean, you know, this guy calls and he breathes into the phone. Well, I'm not afraid of that anymore. You know, I feel sorry for him. Besides, the most scary thing was a haunted mansion, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary.
Okay, here we go.
Come on, pal. Let's get this stuff loaded in. All right. Okay. Well, here's the home.
Alice.
Who is it? Who is it? Who are you?
Wait, please. You know my voice, don't you? Then you must know who I am.
No. No, but there's something. Tell me.
I want you to tell me. You of all people.
Look, I don't know who you are, but there are people who know where I am. They'll be worried if I'm not back soon. They're going to send...
I don't believe it. I had this incredible fantasy about what it would be like to be finally face to face. Alice, look at me. The face is different, but it's still me. Steve.
Stephen's dead. He died years ago in a crash.
Yes, I was in that helicopter when it crashed. But I survived. Alice. Alice, it's me.
Another World.
Stephen? Stephen, you really... But how?
Shh, don't talk now.
But how? Why? You've got to tell me.
I will. Let's go somewhere where it's warm. Build a fire.
No, you've got to tell me now. All this time you let me think you were dead. What happened, Stephen? Where were you?
I was in Australia. Just come with me. I'll make you understand.
But so many years. So much has happened. My life has changed, Stephen.
Yes, and it can change again. Look, I know all about your wedding, your marriage to Ray Gordon, the divorce. I know that you adopted Sally.
How do you know all that?
It doesn't matter. I know that you're engaged to Matt Corey. That doesn't matter either.
What makes you think it doesn't?
Because I still love you, Alice. And I want you with me.
What about what I want?
You still love me. I can see it.
Well, I have loved you for more years than I can say. The Stephen I love, there's no way he could have sat by in some foreign country and not cared about the grief and the loss he caused. All those tears. Why? Can you tell me?
I'd like to try, if you give me the chance.
Oh, you're the one that's had all the chances. All those years you kept tabs on me. You found out about Ray. You found out about Sally. Why didn't you just come home and ask me about these things?
I'm trying to tell you what happened.
Well, I don't want to hear your story. There's no excuse. There can't be.
Alice, wait.
I'm sorry you came back, Stephen. I'd rather just have the memory.
Alice!
Let me see. Do we have everything we need from the table? Champagne bucket?
Right here. I put a shine on this that would put a Marine's dress shoes to shame.
You missed a spot.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. And you know Mr. Corey wants everything absolutely perfect for his dinner tonight with Alice Ray. Now, what did I want? Oh, yes, cake. What do you think?
Oh, it's magnificent. You've really outdone yourself for this dinner this evening.
It's only to please Mr. Corey, I assure you.
Meaning you don't care to please his guests.
I didn't say that, but there's no sense hiding my disappointment in this engagement.
Oh, don't take it so much to heart. She's a charming lady.
I thought you agreed with me.
Well, I did, but the more I see her, the more I'm convinced that she'll be a good wife for Mr. Corey.
And I'm convinced the only good wife for Mr. Corey is Mrs. Rachel Corey.
Yes. And the only good wife for me is you, provided you keep your nose out of our employer's business.
Leonard, come now, we have things to do.
Shall I start the salad?
Not until just before dinner. I do wish we had some fresh herbs, though. This sudden cold snap killed off the few lingering things I had in the garden.
Well, you won't have to worry about that anymore, Louise, when we finally finish that greenhouse I'm having made for you.
Mr. Corey, I'm so excited. Can you imagine having fresh herbs and vegetables the whole year round?
Wonderful. You grow anything you like in it, as long as you keep those wonderful meals coming. Right, Brooks?
Yes, sir.
And speaking of wonderful
Oh,
meals...
everything's ready. I just have to finish setting the table.
Louise, did you make that beautiful arrangement?
Well, yes.
A yellow rose. Alice's favorite. Whenever I see them, I think of her. But, of course, you knew that.
Actually, no.
No? And that cake. Alice is going to be so pleased. It simply demands champagne, though.
Already planned, sir.
Ah, you're always right, Brooks. Oh, say, by the way, though, you better be going for... I'll get that. You two go ahead about your business. Yes? Hello, Alice. Brooks is just leaving for you. You can't. But, darling, Louise and Brooks have planned such a wonderful evening for us. Are you all right? Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Well, of course, you've got to take care of yourself. Get rid of it. Is there anything I can do for you? Oh, no. Please don't worry about the evening. Just promise me you'll call me if there's anything I can do. All right, dear. You take care of yourself now. Right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night. Well, there's no need to bother.
I beg your pardon, sir.
It appears that Mrs. Frame got a chill when she was up at the lake today. She, thinks maybe she's coming down with a flu or something, so we'll just have to cancel the dinner.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Thank you.
So what do you think of old Joe DiMaggio here, huh?
Well, if his fastball's any good, I think Chicago can use him next year.
Hey, not so fast. Corey needs him for his team.
Isn't he asleep yet?
No, not yet. I promised to put the slugger in his room.
Yeah. Boy, Corey sure had a good time in Disney World.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Rode every ride. I don't think he was half as scared as Clarice, though.
Hey, I heard that.
Well, you were scared on that thing.
Oh, don't remind me of that. But you were so brave. I mean, you went in that thing through where all those pirates were shooting and all that stuff.
I'm surprised you remember that. Her eyes were closed tight as a drum. Man, you should have been there.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that you guys had such a nice time.
You feeling okay?
Yeah, sure.
You're probably a little down since Rhonda left for Duluth.
It happens. People go away. It doesn't bother me. It happens.
Hey, you gotta get with this happy new spirit of the Ewing family. Yeah. Why don't we get some sandwiches together?
Right on. Right. I'll make them. I hope we have something in the icebox.
I stocked up on a few things in there before you came back.
What a guy. You didn't have to do that. Thanks a lot for looking out for the apartment while we were gone, too.
Were there any of those calls while we were away?
Not a one. I think the breather finally gave up.
That's a relief. Now let's see what we have here. Just so happens that Larry just bought about everything out of the Magic Kingdom Disney World. And it seems we have a little something for you since you couldn't come with us and enjoy it. Ta-da!
Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. Hey there, hi there, ho there. I'm as happy. What's the matter with you, Jerry?
Nothing. Better clean my things out of your room.
Well, wait a minute. I'm making you a sandwich.
Thanks, I'm not hungry.
Hello? Oh, Aunt Liz. No, Dad's not in just now. I don't know. I said I don't know. Aunt Liz, look, he's a grown man. I don't keep track of him. Oh, please, don't be offended. I guess I'm just not myself tonight. I don't know if I'm coming down with something or not. No, please, don't come over. I just want to rest and go to bed early. Liz, I don't need the name of your cold medication, so please don't call me back with it. Yes, I'm sure. Yes. Goodbye. Aunt Liz. Hello?
Alice, it's me, Stephen.
Please don't call me.
We must talk. It's only fair. You must hear me out, then you can decide.
Oh, look, why don't you tell somebody else? You put me through enough for one lifetime.
Alice, there's an explanation. Why I stayed away so long. Why I came creeping back into Bay City using an assumed name. There's an explanation for all of that. You've got to hear me out.
What name are you using?
I call myself Edward Black.
Edward Black.
You've heard the name.
Everyone in Bay City's heard the name. No wonder everyone thinks you're such a mystery man.
Look, I had to do it this way, Alice. For a lot of reasons. But I must talk to you. I must have some sort of a reconciliation with you. Something, somehow. And then I promise I'll make you understand everything.
Look, I don't want to understand anything. I don't care why you became Edward Black or why you came back to Bay City or anything. Stephen Frame, I know, died in a helicopter in Australia, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of it. Now, don't call me again.
Quinn, what are you still doing here?
I'm working with Eldon and Mr. Black up at the penthouse. They're waiting for those payroll figures.
Does anyone keep normal hours around here?
At Blackhawk, we work till we're finished. You should know that by now.
I wouldn't mind if I were doing my own kind of work. But here, look, payroll.
We get paid to do what Mr. Black asks.
And when is he going to ask me to be a lawyer, which is what I am?
In good time. Meanwhile, do you have those figures?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up with them. Craziest payroll I ever saw, too.
Why? What's wrong?
Oh, here, look at this. You know what this is? It's a worksheet for an entire crew that was sent by us from Bay City all the way to Wyoming just to work on a project.
So?
Overtime, airfare, lodging, meals. We could have built a whole new storage facility for what it took to send those guys there.
Mr. Black doesn't need a storage facility, but he does need to have that crew in Wyoming just now.
Why?
It's not my business to know that or yours.
You know, Quinn, the secrecy in this organization is really starting to get to me. I mean, here we've got what? We got trouble at the docks, we got secret helicopter rides, and now we got this shifting of men halfway across the country for no apparent reason.
There's always a good reason for what Mr. Black does. The docks, for example, are simply to let Blackhawk receive Australian equipment and parts at cheaper rates.
Well, what about the rest of it? Come on, you can't tell me you enjoy working here when half the time you don't know which end is up.
Well, there are certain things, I guess, that have to do with Mr. Black's private life.
Like what?
When he wants you to know, he'll tell you.
Oh, yeah? Well, when is he going to tell me that his real name is Stephen Frame? You didn't know I knew that, did you? I also know that he was married to Alice Frame. Well, Quinn, I don't hear you denying any of this. So tell me about her.
Who?
Come on, Alice. What's the story there?
I really don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about... Is he trying to get back together with her or not?
I'm sure that would please him if it were possible.
Oh, if it were possible.
I really don't know what you're talking about, Denver. Now, if you're done with these figures, I'd like to take them upstairs. And here, since you're interested in working as a lawyer, Mr. Black would like you to go over the wording in these bids on the Bel Air Towers. Good night.
Whoever gets Alice Frame and Steve back together is going to win a lot of points.
So they really got you hopping at Blackhawk, huh?
Yeah, it's all part of the job.
Yeah, it's like Larry. He works all these crazy hours.
Is he working now?
No. This is the last day of his vacation.
Ah.
But Jerry was staying here while we were gone, so Larry's helping him take his stuff back home. And he's going to be sore that he missed you, because you never show up unless it's for a special reason.
Well, I just came over to say hello to my sister and see how Corey's doing.
He's so great. But he's growing so fast I can't keep up with him. I mean, he grows out of things like this before I even get through mending it. It's like Lee used to be.
So how's Lee doing, have you heard?
Well, I think that he sounds pretty happy, according to his letters. There's a clipping over there. Did you see it?
Oh. What's that? Oh, yeah, it's from a Wisconsin newspaper.
Yeah, well, that's the town where he's playing hockey. They mentioned his name in the third paragraph.
Yeah. So is he seeing any girls in particular these days?
I think that he's seeing a sister of one of his teammates.
Oh. Doesn't mention Sally Frame anymore, huh?
Not much.
Sally was adopted by Alice, wasn't she?
Yeah, why are you so curious?
I'm just interested, that's all. Do you like Sally?
Yeah, she's a real nice kid. What are you getting at?
I just thought I might like to get to know her a little better one of these days.
Sally?
Look, all I mean is I'd like to make it up to her a little because I feel like I'm the one responsible for me going to Wisconsin.
How will you do that?
I'll ask her out.
You know, I knew all the games that you and Lee would play when you were kids. And I can always tell when you're up to something.
You know, I could resent that.
Yeah, well, maybe you could resent it, but you're not saying I'm wrong.
I just feel like Sally got a bad shake, and I'd like to do something nice for her. Is that so unreasonable?
Look, I don't like to see people hurt. She's really young and vulnerable.
Well, what am I, some kind of mad heartbreaker? I only have her best interests at heart. Maybe I could recommend some schooling or help her find a career or something.
Well, if that's all there is.
That's all there is. So you mind if I use your phone to call her?
We've finally been able to get through to your stepdaughter, Diana, in Australia.
Finally. Lady Di!
I'm terrific now that I've finally gotten through to you. How are you? Beautiful as ever? Good. You know, I can't stand the thought of being half a world away from you. You realize it's 8 o'clock tonight where I am and noon tomorrow where you are? How's the captain? Good. You tell the stable owners to await special instructions. I'm going to have him shipped over here for you. Well, of course it costs a fortune to ship a horse. Do you realize the size of the boxes they put those things in? Well, look, I'm very rich, and I'm trying to spoil you. Yeah, how's the captain anyway? You been jumping him this week? Good. Listen, sweetheart. I'm going to bring you over here just as soon as possible. I have a couple of things to get settled right now. We have a very important bid we're working on right now, and I have to see how that goes. It's Lady Di. Master Curtis just walked in. She wants you to get up.
Diana? Gee, it's good to hear your voice. Oh, yes, he's very well. I'm keeping an eye on him, but you know how hard it is to keep him out of mischief.
Tell her about the offices.
They are beautiful. I really think you're going to like everything here.
Yes, I've talked to Alice. No plans yet, but I'll let you know when it's settled, and you can come over here and join us.
Oh, come on, now. Don't give me that about being nervous. What strange country when you've got 2 charter members of the Lady Di fan club here, right here, your father and me. No, I'm going to hang up now.
Sweetheart, now if you want or need anything, you know where to reach me day or night. All right? Yes. Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you. I can't wait. Bye-bye now. What a kid. Isn't she great?
She sure is. But now you're going to have to get things settled.
Yeah, it's coming.
Not until you know where you stand with Alice. Do you know that yet?
So, was there any action at the old precinct house while I was away?
No, it was fairly quiet. Had me teamed up with one of those new rookies. I spent most of my time just making sure that his gun was in the holster. Hey, thanks for the lift.
Yeah, listen, if your car ever goes on the fritz again, I want you to get in touch with me. I want to fix it for you. I figure it's the least I can do since you apartment sat for me.
True. Look, I enjoyed it.
You did, really?
Yeah, it was kind of nice being in a place that had plenty of dishes and all the right pots and pans.
Oh, yeah, the old woman's touch.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
You know, it's really good seeing you and Clarice in such an upbeat mood again.
Oh, no. You know, that vacation, it did us wonders. It cleared her mind of a lot of things and made me realize how much I love her. You know, I mean, she's always joking, laughing, having a good time.
Yeah.
God, I mean, who would have thought that? Larry Ewing, big family man. I'm enjoying every minute of it. You know, really, Jerry, you ought to take a vacation for yourself.
Yeah, well, who would I go with? It's not so great by yourself.
No, I'm sorry.
About what?
I've been spouting off all day about how much fun Clarice and I had, how great everything is.
It's okay, really.
You know, I really think the right girl's going to come along for you someday. I do believe Rhonda was a kid, and she was probably just too immature for you.
Yeah, right. Thanks again for the lift, huh?
Jerry, I mean it. I mean, Clarice and I feel like your family. I want you to stop by just to talk or just to stop by anytime you feel like it.
Thank you. Hey, listen, maybe if I get the old junk heap rolling, I'll come back over with a six-pack or something, okay?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Cool.
Hey, here's your bag.
Forgot it.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you later.
Okay.
I don't know, Curtis. Frankly, it wasn't what I expected.
Did she give you any kind of encouragement at all?
In a word, no. She wouldn't even listen to my story. But I don't care about the things she said about me. They're only words.
What else is there?
Feelings. And they showed through, Curtis. In spite of everything. She knows it, too. That's why she's running scared.
It doesn't sound to me like a lot to go on.
No, you don't know Alice. It means a lot more than you think.
But then, what about her feelings for Mr. Corey? Aren't they real?
Yes, they're real. She loves him. But it couldn't be anything like the passion we had for each other.
And you think you're going to be able to rekindle that passion?
Count on it. The only thing that's strange is it took her so long to recognize me. Had to persuade her. Rachel knew me right away.
Well, it's too bad we're off to such a poor start. Diana's really building quite a fantasy about you and Alice remarrying.
It's no fantasy. By the time we bring Lady Di here from Australia, Alice will be mine.
Miss Davis?
I want to see you, Steve.
How did you get past the receptionist?
It's all right, Curtis.
I want to talk to you, Steve.
Fine.
Alone.
Could you do me a favor? Please don't call me Steve. I'm still Edward Black for a while.
I don't want a thing to do with your secret life. I want my son back.
He's coming back to Bay City right away.
When? Where is he? I want to know.
He's fine, Rachel. He's on an out-of-state work crew, that's all.
Why are you playing games with Jamie's life?
I promised to bring him back to Bay City immediately.
Your promises don't mean anything to me. But I'll make a bargain with you. You get him back here in a day, and I won't tell the Matthews who you are.
And that's not a bargain, that's blackmail.
You can think of it as a threat.
It's not necessary, Rachel. I've seen Alice.
Oh? Did she welcome you back with open arms?
Not yet.
Uh-huh. Well, at least she knows about you, so now you don't have to worry about Jamie or me giving your secret away.
That's right. I'll have travel arrangements made for James to come back to Bay City immediately.
And then what? Are you going to use him again for one of your ridiculous schemes?
I want to try to be a real father to him.
Real fathers don't abandon their children.
I can explain that.
Oh, really? And you think he's going to understand? You're going to say, I'm sorry, son, I wasn't here all those years you needed me so badly, but I was very busy in Australia.
It wasn't like that.
I don't care what it was like. You can forget being a father to your son. He's all grown up now, and you can forget being welcomed back to Bay City. I think it's a little late for that.
Getting colder out there by the minute. Say, aren't you supposed to be having dinner with Mac tonight?
Yes, but we've been out so much lately. Sometimes you just need a quiet evening at home.
Well, I should have done the same thing. Instead of having dinner with those busybody clients of mine, the Hickeys, my head's still buzzing. Hey, what's that? The old family picture basket?
Oh, I was just skimming through them earlier.
Oh, I haven't looked at them in years. Oh, dear, I hope that's not the Hickeys again. You answer. They'll have some more gossip.
Hello. please, I asked you not to call me anymore. There's no sense trying. I don't want to see you. No, it's out of the question. I said it's out of the question. Now, don't call me again.
Who was that?
Nobody. Just an old acquaintance that's been trying to burden me with personal business.
Oh, like the Hickeys. Well, I agree. It's best to put people like that out of your mind.
Yes, they'll let you.
Well, come on, Alice. Let's look at these old family pictures.
Oh, no. Hey, how about a treat? Some ice cream?
On a night like this?
Sure, why not? I need to get out. I couldn't handle another of those phone calls.
Where are you going to go, Malfaitas?
Where else has your favorite flavor?
Rocky Road.
Right. I'll see you in a little while.
Oh, that was a spectacular meal. Too bad it wasn't meant for us.
It's a shame to let that cake go to waste, though.
Oh, I see no reason why it should go to waste.
Oh, no, you don't. Mr. Corey may like that tomorrow. Leonard, come here a moment. I'm working on the layout for the greenhouse.
Well, it's a cut above the old burnt-out tack room.
Mm-hmm. Just imagine a beautiful new greenhouse in its place. Now, look. Along here we have tremendous space. For vegetables, flowers. Along here, plenty of fresh herbs. Basil in December, rosemary, tarragon.
What's in this area along the south wall?
Oh, that's very special. I'll be growing my medicinal plants there.
Well, take care. You don't know a lot about that sort of thing.
I've been studying plants for years.
Plant remedies can be dangerous.
You just say that because you can't tell a philodendron from a thorn bush.
It's lucky I've got you to rely on then.
Oh, Mr. Corey.
Still poring over those greenhouse plans, I see.
I can't seem to help myself. I'm just so pleased about it.
Is there something I can do for you, sir?
Not for me, Brooks, but you could do me an enormous favor.
Well, of course, sir.
Well, I've been so concerned about Mrs. Frame. I suddenly remember that beautiful floral arrangement you made. I think it might cheer her up a great deal to see that yellow rose.
Well, I'd be glad to take it over for you, sir. She'll be touched.
Thank you, Brooks. I also notice you two didn't have dessert with your dinner.
I couldn't let Brooks destroy that cake. You might like it yourself tomorrow.
Not for me, but it's so beautiful. I would like Alice to see your handiwork. Perhaps you could take that too, Brooks.
Yes, of course, sir.
Thank you. I want to thank you both very much for all the trouble you went to for tonight.
Oh, you're welcome, sir.
You needn't have been so eager. It's very cold out.
When have I not done something for Mr. Corey? Or are you thinking about Alice?
Never mind. Let's just hope she's feeling better so Mr. Corey won't be so concerned.
Well, what do you think?
Well, Denver's made some notations about the legal wording, but aside from that,
I think this bid is ready.
Oh, we made it. I knew we would.
Quinn, I want this in the typing pool tomorrow before the typists have had their first cup of coffee. I want this bid signed and sealed by me and in the hands of the Bel Air people by noon.
No problem.
We're going to get this job, Curtis. And when we do, Black Hawk is going to loom large on the map in this country.
I think we got a very good chance.
There's nothing chancy about it. I'm sure of it. I want all of our employees to be sure of it. Oh, Quinn. Call Wyoming.
Tonight?
No, right now. Get in charge of the construction site in Laramie. Tell them to send the extra crew from Bay City back right away.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and when you're finished, go on home. It's been a good day's work.
It certainly has. Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Well, you never cease to amaze me with your constant changing plans.
Oh, you mean the Wyoming thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need all the available men here for the Bel Air Towers job.
Yes, but the reason for sending that crew in the first place was to get James out of town.
I know that's not important now. Besides, this is personal.
In what way?
He's my son, Curtis. I want him here in Bay City when the Bel Air contract is awarded.
Hey, now, don't stake too much on getting this one job.
Why, it's the most significant building ever built outside of New York or Chicago.
Yeah, but there is no absolute guarantee that Blackhawk's going to get to build it.
I'm looking at my guarantee, Curtis.
Me?
Yes, you. You. And that low estimate you just finished.
Hello? Hello? Who's this?
I give you some of it. No need to pull up your chair. Let's turn on the taxiway. What gate we be going into, you know?
I wonder if Alice will ever remember to take her keys.
Good evening, Mr. Matthews.
Why, Brooks, come on in.
I hope I'm not disturbing you too late.
Oh, no, it's all right. Here, I think you need a hand with something.
If you wouldn't mind.
These, I take it, are for Alice.
Yes, Mr. Corey thought that she'd enjoy them.
She will. They're her favorite flower.
There's also this cake. Louise baked it.
Well, I must say, is this some kind of special occasion or something?
Mr. Corey's simply thinking of your daughter, that's all.
He's behaving like a lovesick schoolboy. Well, come on in.
I can't stay, but may I ask, is your daughter still awake?
Yes?
Good. He asked me to deliver these personally and find out how she's feeling.
Alice is fine.
Oh, excellent. He'd be glad to hear that she's better.
Better than what?
Hasn't she been ill?
Well, not that I know of. She's out right now getting us ice cream.
Oh, well, there must have been some misunderstanding. I'm sure she'll enjoy the gifts, if you'll forgive me. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Now that you bought all these things, honey, what are you going to do with them?
Well, maybe I can get Ada to take some of them. I know Nancy's going to want a few.
Maybe we could give some to Amanda and some to Matthew, and then, of course, Corey's going to want to keep some.
Oh, yeah. We got something for Corey. I think we ought to give him at least this one. This will look good in his room, don't you think? Huh?
Well, why don't we put it in here?
You want to put this in the living room?
I mean, it'll keep reminding us of all the fun we had.
Had? Wait a minute. There's no had. It's have. All the fun we're going to have, okay? Give me a tack. I'll
Okay,
hang this thing up.
You gonna find where to hang that?
I know right where I'm going to hang it.
Okay, I'm gonna tack.
Yeah. Hang it right over here. You know, I told Jerry I thought he should take a vacation himself.
Yeah, honey, he seems so edgy. I think he seems even more edgy than before he left.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. There's like a tightness in him that I don't remember seeing before.
Aha, I got a tack.
Oh, great. Okay. Let's see. Just square it up.
You know, I think he's more upset about Rhonda than he lets on.
No, I don't think he ever got his steam up over that girl.
Well, honey, that doesn't mean he doesn't care for her.
No, I don't think he ever did. I mean, after Blaine, I think the only thing he cared about was how much Rhonda cared for him.
He's getting to be a hard person to figure out.
I'm telling you, man. These headaches, Russ Matthews hasn't said anything about him. I think it's psychosomatic.
Huh?
It's in his head, more than anything else.
Yeah, well, I should think so. After all the terrible things that have happened to him, his mother was killed, and those lunatics chased him halfway across the country.
Well, I just wish there was something I could do to help him. That's all.
Well, at least he knows we're always here if he needs us.
Well, we can't solve everybody's problem, baby. I think we're doing pretty lucky to handle our own.
You really think we are?
Well, I think we got them licked, most of them, all except one.
What's that?
I think we need another tack over there on the poster.
What feel you cheeks.
Oh, Louise, dear, don't make such a fuss.
Well, just look at you. You've caught a chill. You shouldn't have gone out tonight.
Well, it was important for Mr. Corey.
You sit right down here, and I'll pour you a nice hot cup of chamomile tea. The water's already hot.
I don't think I care for chamomile tea.
It's good for you.
What's this?
Oh, that's a book I picked up at the market this morning. It's going to show me how to brew all sorts of lovely homemade herbal teas.
Oh, I see I'm in for it now, then.
Don't complain. Just drink up. I don't want you catching cold.
Brooks, I thought I heard you drive in. How's Alice?
I'm not really sure, sir.
Well, you did take the cake and flowers over.
Yes, but I didn't exactly see her, sir.
Oh, with whom did you leave them?
Mr. Matthews.
Oh, did he seem worried about Alice?
No, not in the slightest, sir.
Good. He probably sent her off to bed early. I'm sure she'll be fine in the morning, and she'll be so delighted to wake up to your beautiful flowers, Louise.
She's bound to be surprised, sir.
Yes. Well, I think I can get to sleep now. Once again, I want to thank both of you for all you did for tonight.
You're welcome, sir.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. Corey. All right. What were you hiding?
Me?
You were practically stammering.
Well, I didn't have the heart to tell him. Alice wasn't sick in bed at all.
She wasn't?
No. When I arrived, she'd gone out to buy ice cream.
Oh. Oh, this is new. I'm doing it because I love you, baby.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Another World.
Oh, man. It seemed so heavy when we loaded these crates.
You're right. Hey, Frankie.
How was the Wild, Wild West?
Ah, you serious? Wild West, huh, Jamie? Cold, windy. I mean, lots of empty spaces. I mean, lots and miles of it. And a lot of tired old ranch.
You don't exactly have it on a nightlife in Laramie.
Oh, you're not kidding, man. You are not kidding. I mean, all of a sudden, Bay City looks to me like a big town. I mean, big.
Well, it looks like you didn't get any sleep, Lou, so why don't you take the rest of the day off?
Oh, Frankie. I'd kiss you on the lips, but I don't like mustaches. What do you say? We'll get some sleep and a couple of thick steaks.
Sorry, James, but I didn't mean for you to go.
Well, how come?
Well, you can put in a little more time.
Yeah, well, so can all the other guys.
Oh, wait a minute. He's right. We've all worked hard. And what's this with the special treatment? Maybe we should go see a union rep about this. Maybe file a grievance.
Cool it, Lou, huh?
Hey,
Your buddy will get overtime.
Frankie, I'm beat. I really couldn't do another heavy job.
Who said anything about heavy? You'll be out of here in no time. The big boss wants to see you. Well, that's what he said. I don't think he meant tomorrow, you know?
What's this? What's going on?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I do my job, right? Frankie likes me. I didn't break anything, at least anything of value.
Yeah, and you worked your butt off.
That's right.
Well, it can only mean one thing, buddy.
What?
They're very impressed with you. They want to move you up, promote you,
No.
make you an executive.
No way.
Why not?
Well, I better go find out, and then I'll go home and get some sleep, okay?
Yeah. And listen, maybe a little bit later we'll get together for dinner.
All right, give me a call.
Good luck.
should be an actress or something. What's this big rush? What do you want from me, huh? What? Come on.
Okay.
What?
Would you believe I can't decide between a tenor and a soprano at our wedding?
Father Caloran should figure that out, right? He's the one who's performing the ceremony. Let him decide that, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
As long as you don't mind hearing "Oh, Promise Me."
Whatever you want. Whatever he wants is fine. Okay?
Fine. Wait till you hear "Oh, Promise Me." Now listen, Joey. About the reception. I've been thinking about tall boys.
Tall boys is very expensive. Would fit for like 50 people with drinks and those little finger sandwiches and whatnot. No, we can't give just pretzels, you know?
We can't ask our family and friends to meet us at a bowling alley either. No, this is special. I want everything about the day to be special.
That's what we said about the last time.
It was special. Forgotten?
Kid, I gotta get going, okay? I'm in a rush.
Okay,
All
one
right?
last thing. I want another date.
The date.
Help me decide.
Whenever you want. Whenever you want is fine.
No, whenever I want. When we can both be there together.
What do I know about dates? I don't know.
Take a look at a calendar. Would you please help me decide? Make one decision.
Rick's good with dates. Let him get...
I'm not
he's good with
marrying.
dates.
I'm marrying you. Now, would you please help me?
Kid, relax. Whatever you want is fine with me. You guys, I don't want to fight about it. Whatever you want is fine, okay?
Well, why don't we toss for it? Heads, it's November. Tails, December.
Another world.
This line here is the most probable for the plumbing connection.
Yes, I quite agree.
We have to have sufficient insulation. I'm using top pipe, top quality.
So there's no risk of buckling.
This must all be Greek to you.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't mean to be chauvinistic about it, but I've never met a beautiful woman who was into the fine points of plumbing.
You'd be surprised. Women are into all kinds of things today.
Oh, are you into women's lib?
The only thing I'm into is getting ahead in this world. And waving any flag wouldn't be too smart. Oh, and before I forget, I took the liberty of sending off a dozen roses to Diana. The Sydney Horse Show. Diana's competing in the working horse hunter class.
Oh, no. Oh, I forgot. I completely forgot. Things have been crazy around here. Oh, thank you, Quinn. That'll mean a lot to her. Oh, could you do me one more favor? Could you send some flowers off to Mrs. Alice Frame? Something really special.
Such lucky ladies. What would I put on the card?
For old time's sake. Oh, one more thing. A check with the maintenance man about the elevator. It's not been feeling well. Tell him to call the repair company, maybe even take it out of service for a while till we know what's wrong. I don't want any accidents.
I'll do that right away.
Thank you, Quinn.
Right. So we get started on rounds?
Yes, I guess so.
Scared?
Well, it is the first time I will be making a presentation.
I understand. Just keep your attention on the cases and not on yourself.
All right. I'll try. That new admission is a very fascinating girl.
With quite a history, you know.
Yes, I know. Breaks your heart. She's such a delicate girl. So fragile. But completely withdrawn.
Let's not forget that this shy, frail, fragile little girl almost killed both of her parents.
Intellectually, I understand that, but when she's in the same room with you, how can you not be sympathetic?
Well, there's nothing wrong with sympathy. If we lost our ability to feel for our patients, we'd be a sorry mess. But we can't let our personal feelings interfere with our work.
Well, that's what I keep reminding myself of.
Good.
Oh,
Well, tell me about Blaine. How's she doing?
she's great. I'm very pleased with her progress. There's no more nightmares. She's able to fall asleep at night without any medication. Her life's really shaping up.
Sounds good, Rick.
All right.
Oh. Try and not be nervous about the presentation.
I'm that transparent, huh? It's my first time.
And we all know that every resident fails at his first presentation. Hey, it's a rule, you know. Oh.
It's going to be a rough couple of days. 3 nurses are out with the flu, and pediatrics is borrowed. My one and only volunteer.
And with 2 new admissions. Well, I'll see what I can do, Alice.
I'd appreciate it.
Have you encouraged your nurses to wear their own clothes when they're on duty?
There's been lots of resistance.
I figured there would be, but I wish you'd explain to them how important it is.
Well, I've tried, but the response just hasn't been very positive.
Well, perhaps if they realized that the uniforms can actually have an adverse effect on psychiatric patients, they'd be more cooperative.
Well, frankly, I think the problem is mostly economics. I mean, nurses can't afford fancy wardrobes. You know what goes on in this wing. Food trays hurled across the room in outbursts that result in ripped seams, torn sleeves. This is not your average wing.
Yes, I know. And the less it resembles a hospital, the calmer the patients will be.
I'll talk to them again.
Maybe it'll help if you remind your staff that I was hired for my offbeat ideas. They might change their minds. I do think that there will be fewer violent reactions among the patients. And I'll talk to the board and see if they won't help out with the cleaning bills.
Fair enough. Any other offbeat ideas you'd like me to pass along?
Yes, I plan to do away with most of the locked rooms. There's no need for all those locks. They're very depressing and not to mention very, very threatening to the patients. I'm sorry, Alice. I didn't mean to take up so much of your time. Unless there's something that I've left out. You know, all this shop talk, and I haven't asked about you. Everything going well?
For the most part. But there is something I've been meaning to ask you about, if you're sure you have the time.
Oh, yes, I have plenty of time before my next appointment.
Well, I'm just confused about this whole business of keeping a secret. Don't I sound adolescent?
No, not at all. None of us is immune to a certain amount of uneasiness when it comes to keeping a confidence.
Yeah, especially when you're concealing information that could change a life.
Well, it's an enormous responsibility. No one enjoys not keeping a confidence, although sometimes it's necessary.
What would you do if you discovered a secret like that? How would you feel?
Just confused as anyone else. You know, shrinks don't have all the answers. And it's really a question of morality, isn't it? I mean, who really owns the secret? The person who's keeping it, the person who discovers it? It's not easy. I guess the final decision rests with the person who originated the secret in the first place.
I guess you're right.
Unless there's a strong need to tell it. A firm belief that divulging the information is the lesser of 2 evils. And that takes a lot of soul searching.
I've been meaning to tell you what a good sport you've been. Not complaining. About working any place that's available.
Oh. Well, I don't mind it at all. I really like. I'm very comfortable here in Dr. Wagner's office.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, wait till I get an office of my own. Maybe they'll give me one with a window, and it'll be pleasant. I can see the sun then. Huh?
Mm-hmm. And the rain. And the sleet. And the snow.
There she goes again, looking on the dark side.
No, seriously. Oh, you've been such a help to me. See, I wouldn't mind if we had to work in a laundry room.
Well, like I said, the lady is a good sport. All right. Same time next week?
No. I mean, I have to cancel. But before you holler at me, please give me a chance to explain, all right?
Better be good.
Well, I'm sure it won't be good enough for you. I've been so inundated with last-minute changes on Mr. Black's office. I've got to get it done. But I promise this will be the last cancellation.
You really promise?
I really promise. Here, I want to show you something.
All right.
tell me what you think of these two things.
What are they?
They're drapes, silly.
Well, I don't like any of them.
How about, this one?
Oh, well. That's not bad. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Figures. I mean, this is like the ugliest piece of fabric I've ever seen in my entire life. Could I be excused, please,
In a
Doctor?
minute, okay?
Yeah, what's that?
I owe you an apology about the other night. I suppose I ought to know my own limitations, you know, especially when it comes to drinking.
It's all right. It happens to everybody.
Yes, they get crazy drunk and pass out. No. I promise you that will not happen again. And again, I am very, very sorry.
Your apology is accepted. But since nothing happened, there's really nothing to worry about. I mean, even if I'd wanted anything to happen, you were beyond. Let's just say you're too far gone. Sorry. You don't have to be sorry about anything.
You know, I don't really remember getting into bed.
Stumbling into bed.
Oh, it gets better and better, doesn't it?
Much.
Well, at least I had enough presence to take my shoes off. You took my shoes off.
And then I pulled the covers up to keep you warm. And I tiptoed quietly out of the room.
I have been on such a guilt trip. I just didn't know what I had done. The whole evening, quite frankly, was just a blank.
Well, you don't have anything to feel guilty about. Absolutely nothing happened. I'm very sorry to say.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. No, it's okay. I'm just out of it right here.
Yeah, everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I had my my presentation this morning. I was spectacular.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Well, if you'd seen the girl that I was working with, you'd see why. She's remarkable. Unfortunately, she's catatonic. I think we can get her out of it. It's just that when she was 11,
Sorry to interrupt. It's just that I've got to ask your opinion about something really important, and I only have a few minutes.
Well, shoot.
We've got to set a wedding date, and Dad's so ill. I don't know what to do. Am I being selfish?
No. Oh, come on, kid. This is no time to play a martyr. You're in love with Joey. You want to get married. Period. You can't afraid to go with happiness there.
You believe that?
Yeah, you find something good, you gotta go with it. I do believe that.
Is that what you're doing with Blaine?
I'm talking about you and Joey right here.
I'm talking about you, Marianne, and your marriage.
All right, I don't need to be reminded of that. So you just keep me and Marianne out of this, and you just concentrate on yourself. It's very easy for you to criticize me and just, not explore your own hang-ups.
What hang-ups?
Well, I don't know, but you've definitely got them. Maybe you're just plain scared. Afraid you're going to make the same mistake again. I mean, how many chances do you get? You blew it once, too.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough! Just save your psychoanalytic theories and keep them for your catatonic patients.
Curtis! Quinn, get Curtis in here now. Now!
Mr. Black would like to see you right away.
Time's James Frame. Mr. Black is expecting.
Curtis, come here. Look at these figures. The insulation on the air conditioning ducts. Look at them. Check it yourself. This is right. This is you.
James Frame is here to see you.
No, tell him to come back tomorrow. Do you realize what a mistake like this could cost us? About $150,000. That's a lot of money to a poor kid from Oklahoma. Well, am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. No?
You picked a date yet, kid?
No. Not yet. You know, I've been thinking, I think all weddings should have a backup bride. What do you think?
I think you enjoy your suffering from the last-minute jitters. But you know those always pass. Why so down, kid? You and Joy are two of the happiest people I've ever seen.
Not lately. Honestly, he is so uncooperative when it comes to our wedding. I mean, I ask him about the date. I ask him about the guest list. The reception. He changes the subject and runs away.
Well, maybe it's just all too much for him. The details, the pre-wedding plans.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you have this problem with him the first time around?
During the wedding, no. It was afterward. Our families and my money came between us. Suddenly, Joey was the boy from the wrong side of the tracks who couldn't handle the money and pressure. Suddenly, we forgot why we came together in the first place. But we're not kids anymore, Alice. He still can't have those insecurities.
Takes a long time to get rid of those insecurities sometimes. Seems so foolish, worrying about class and position. But Joy's obviously still very concerned about the differences in your background. And maybe the wedding plans just remind him of the troubles he had the first time.
I guess so. I never thought of it that way. Till now. I guess it's hard to be objective sometimes. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Listen, if you ever get bogged down, you want a sympathetic ear or help with a requisition form, just let me know. I owe you one.
Thank you, kid. I will.